their plan for the offseason. A lot of people are asking me, what should they do? What should they do? Caedrel, what should they do? Who do they kick? It's hard because you have to understand there's two things. Number one is budget. How much budget does FNATIC have to actually go crazy? And number two is free agents. Who is on the market that's actually able to be picked up for spring split, which is in 4 weeks, right? You have to understand that a lot of major regions, they have still got the old splits of spring and summer, right? And so their splits are longer. And so the free agents come during spring split LEC because there's a clash of like splits now, right? So it's really hard to get free agents from other regions. So you're either having to buy out ERL players, so you need someone to scout that shit ASAP, or you're signing free agents in EU, or you're trying to buy out CK players maybe, or bring up your academy players. It's hard as hell. It's really hard. But something needs to change. Some people said reckless support, upset AD carry. Do I think that'll happen? Probably not. But the whole thing needs to implode. Everything. It all needs to implode right now. And maximum, I don't know. It's so hard to say without knowing what the vibe is like in the team, right? So this is all outside perspective. But I would say maximum 2 players stay. Depending on like what the mood is, who's got the vibes, who's happy, who's sad, who's motivated, who's not motivated, who's there with it, who's not, who's putting in effort, who's not, who's slacking, who isn't, you know. There's a few free agents in the EU. You know, you've got Neme. They have upset ready to jump in. Bwipo is a possibility. Treats is a possibility. But this team would probably want to make top 4. So yeah, they have self-made, but you're just kind of running back things that have already tried, right? In a way. I think Bwipo is a great pickup, to be honest. Bwipo returns to FNATIC as maybe a jungler or a top laner. Depends what he's looking for. Maybe Wunder can stay and they can have Bwipo jungle. Mid situation is hard because Humanoid has shown that he is fucking insane. But like, it's hard. You have to understand, mids in EU, if you have a good mid laner in EU, your team is already set for top 5. If you have a bad mid laner in EU, you're absolutely exposed. So the only... I'm looking at like Humanoid Wunder, maybe, depending on like the Bwipo situation for Wunder. Upset is... They've just re-signed Reckless, and I guess, right, FNATIC's a business, you know, Reckless is over all their content. He might be on a good contract. And so benching him feels hard from a business standpoint, but Upset is just fucking insane. Like, Upset is one of the best AD carries in the West. And you know you will get a carrier lane out of that, right? So this is the biggest dilemma you have as FNATIC. Do you throw away the Reckless brand after 5 weeks and just slot Upset back in and try to win? And just run it back with a different top side? You know? There's a lot of options. You know, what Korean players are not too expensive in Challenger's Korea that you can buy out that are actually available? Buying out ERL players in EU is doable. Yeah, it's hard. There's so many ways. You know, free agents for LCK, if they want to get a jungler, you know, Dread, I've mentioned him a lot. I think he's actually really good, but then you have a language barrier and you only have 2 weeks or so to prepare for it. Importing support, I wouldn't blame them. Importing a support and jungle would probably be their best bet. But then again, who? A lot of people say, kick this guy, kick that guy. Who? For who? For who? So yeah, we'll see what happens. It'll be interesting off-season. I don't know, the off-season's so short. You know, you realize winter ends, there's 1 week, and then spring starts. That's the off-season. Quote unquote. It's a week. And then they're back into spring. And then they have 3 weeks of best of ones again. To see if they're knocked out. So this is ruthless, you know?